morning about a mother charged with the murder of her 16-month-old daughter after leaving her home alone to go on vacation.
Yeah, unbelievable. We turn to Austin Love with the details. And Austin, as shocking as this story is, this wasn't the first time the mother had done something like this. Is that correct?
Yeah, hey, good morning to you guys. Just a heartbreaking story to bring you this morning. Dave, you're absolutely correct. This is not the first time that this has happened. We spoke with neighbors that live right next door to them. They said back in August they agreed to watch the child for a weekend. That weekend turned into a month and a half. It's the disturbing trend that now has 31-year-old Kristel Candelario behind bars this morning, facing murder charges of her young daughter, Jailyn. Court records show the 31-year-old admitted to leaving her baby home alone on June 8th when she went on vacation to Puerto Rico and then to Detroit. When she returned home 8 days later, police say that she found Jailyn unresponsive. While she is behind bars this morning, we spoke with the neighbors who Kristel had left them with the first time. They did not want to show their faces on camera, but the mother and daughter said that they love Jailyn and hope her mother, Kristel, pays for what she did to her.
I was the one calling her, look, I need milk, I need money. I don't have no money to buy milk for you, baby. What am I supposed to do?
We were absolutely heartbroken. We loved Jailyn a lot. Jailyn really didn't deserve what happened to her.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Donna Just Being Real. This is a really sad story. She pleaded guilty. Now, this is an old news clip, and I wanted to go back a little bit because I'm just hearing about this. And so she just leaves her child at somebody's house for a month and just disappear. But this time, she decided to go away for a vacation for 10 days. She's like, forget it. I'm not even going to ask nobody to get a babysitter. I'll just leave my child alone in the playpen. Are you kidding me? This is not good. What is going on? This beautiful angel is not here because of the hands of the mother's care. Resume.
She was amazing and really adorable, and I miss her a lot.
Yeah, well, Kristel Candelario was in court yesterday. Her bond being set right now at $1 million. She is expected to reappear in court next week. Of course, we'll continue to follow this story, Dave.
Unthinkable. Just a sad, sad story.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to watch a little bit of the court date when she was sentenced. Because basically she plead guilty. There's no way you can get out of something like this. Can't believe it. So we're going to watch. We're going to watch it together because I didn't get to watch this whole thing. So we're going to watch. I'm just going to play some of it. It's kind of long. So I'm going to play some of it that was in court. But first, let's start off with this. I'm going to read an article. Let me just read this article real quick and then we're going to get into watching when in court. Ohio woman who left a 60-month-old daughter to starve to death for 10 days. Picture beaming on Puerto Rico beach. Yeah, let's go back to that picture. This is her. She's over there in Puerto Rico. Look at her with all her cellulites. Honey, if you want to sport that, you got to work on the cellulites. Squats, cut back on the french fries. Let's get back to it. Now, where was I up to? An Ohio mom posted a grinning picture of herself on a sunny beach at the same time that her little daughter lay dying in her filthy playpen back home. Kristel, I can't pronounce the name, Trifling Mother, 32, plead guilty to aggravated murder Thursday for abandoning her 16-month-old daughter, Jailyn, when she jetted off on a 10-day vacation to Puerto Rico in June. 3 days on the trip, the seemingly carefree woman shared a photo of herself mugging for the camera on the sandy beach. I just can't believe this. I just can't believe it. All right, when this trifling mother finally returned to her Cleveland home a few days later, she found her daughter not breathing in her playpen and called 911. How was she able to go out there and vacation and leave her child like that? There's something seriously wrong with her. She shouldn't have been born either. Let's get back to it. The baby has lesion, at least what am I saying? I'm sorry, I might be getting this wrong. All right, had spoiled blankets and the bottom liners saturated with urine, feces. I think y'all get the picture what I'm talking about. An autopsy later revealed that Jailyn succumbed to starvation and dehydration. This poor little beautiful angel by your mother. This trifling mother pleaded guilty this week to aggravated murder and child endangerment as part of her plea deal that included dropping 2 additional murder charges and 1 count of felonious assault. This case is one of those truly unimaginable cases that will stick with me for many years to come. Wow, that's what the prosecutor said. There was something else on this article. It was another article. I want to read something else. Give me a second here. Let's talk a little bit about here. I'm gonna read this one. This one here is from the first one I read was from the New York Post. Now this one here is from the Washington Post. All right, let's see right here. Nope, I don't think I'm gonna read that one. I think I'm gonna read CBS News. Oh, sorry. Ohio mom who left a 1-year-old daughter alone and gone on vacation sentenced to life in prison. An Ohio mother whose 16-month-old daughter died after being left home alone in a playpen for 10 days last summer while she went on vacation was sentenced Monday to life in prison with no chance of parole. This trifling mother, 32 years old, had pleaded guilty last month to aggravated murder and child endangerment as part of her plea deal with prosecution, who dismissed two murder counts. Let me pause this. What was it up there? And they dismissed 2 murder counts and felonious assault charges. Authorities said that this trifling mother left her daughter Jailyn in their Cleveland home when she went on vacation to Detroit and Puerto Rico in June 2023. When she returned 10 days later, she found her daughter, who was not breathing, in the playpen and called 911. Emergency responders found the child, who was extremely dehydrated, and pronounced her dead shortly after they arrived. Oh my gosh. This is so sad. All right, I just want to see this little smart comment that she said in the court. Oh, this is what she said here. You know what? They always want the violins, don't they? They always got to get the violins. There's so much pain that I have in regards to the loss of my baby Jailyn, she said. I'm extremely hurt about everything that happened. I'm not trying to justify my actions, but nobody knew how much I was suffering and what I was going through. God and my daughter has forgiven me. Are you? Ooh, this woman is wicked. Wicked, wicked, wicked. All right. Give me a second here. I'm going to switch to the next video. Hope I did this right. Give me just a second here. Okay. I'm getting ready to change the videos now. Give me a second. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to watch some of this. This was her sentencing in court, all right? And I'm going to put it on speed. We're going to go on speed 1.25. We're just going to watch some of it because I want to hear what was happening in the court and everything. But she had pleaded guilty, I guess, to get some of the some of the charges dropped. This is horrific. How could you do that? How was she able to go out here and didn't care? That's her. She didn't care. You left your daughter alone like that, and then that's what you thought she did. All right, let's hear what the court has to say. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and make sure what you do, you hit the like, all right, and share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. People's watching and replay, and also share me on your social media. If you need to reach out to me, you will find my email in the description. We go from there. Let's get it.
Court of Common Pleas is now open pursuant to adjournment. Counsel Judge Brandon.
Don't it look like she got a little smirk on her face?
Okay, good morning. We're here today on the state of Ohio versus Kristel Candelario. That's you, Ms. Candelario. This is case number 23-682-241. Representing you, Ms. Candelario, is Mr. Derek Smith and Mr. P.J. Mulligan. Representing the state of Ohio is Ms. Anna Ferrelia and Ms. Jordan Mason. Before we start, we've had numerous pre-trials on this matter, and we have an interpreter here that's been involved in all.
Psychobiotics are a new class of probiotic bacteria
proceedings. And Robert is here. Robert, do you want to stand up? Robert, you've been involved with the court. Your training and credentials as an interpreter has been reviewed by this court. And you are familiar with the National Association for Judiciary Interpreters and Translators, the Code of Ethics and Professional Responsibility, and you've interpreted here many times in this court. Robert, I want you understand that you are to be a neutral party who is here to facilitate communication, and that you should not offer advice or interject your opinion into these proceedings. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so with that, is there any objection to Robert being the interpreter?
Not on behalf of the state, Your Honor.
All right. So Robert, you want to raise your right hand? You do solemnly swear that you will interpret accurately, completely, and impartially, using the best skill and judgment in accordance with the standards prescribed by law, and follow the official guidelines established by this court for legal interpreting or translating, and discharge all of the solemn duties and obligations of legal interpretation and translation as you shall answer unto God. Please say I do.
I do.
Thank you, Robert. All right. All right. So we're here today for a sentencing hearing. Ms. Candelario, on February the 22nd, you pled guilty to...
Hey, Art, haven't seen you in a minute, and blessings. Hope all things is well for you. This woman is trifling. Are you kidding me? And I see you too, Kristel, up in here in BG. No hedges. You in the rose garden. And I see you, Lisa. Blessings, blessings. Let's get back to this trifling woman. I can't believe this. Can't believe it. And she thinks she cute with her, you know. Are you kidding me? You think you cute with all that cellulite like that? Lord have mercy. Resume.
To count one, which is titled aggravated murder and unclassified felony, which is potential sentence of life with parole eligibility after 20 years, life with parole eligibility after 25 years, life with parole eligibility after 30 years, or life without parole. You also pled guilty to count 5, endangering children, which is a felony of the second degree, which is punishable by 2 to 8 years and or a $15,000 fine. And there's also the Reagan Tokes advisements I advised you of, which is whatever sentence this court imposes on count 5 must be served 50% of that number. So we went through that at the plea, so you understand that. At that time of the plea, we requested a pre-sentence investigation report. We received a report from Michael.
I see you, Strange, popping up in here. And hello. And blessings to everybody. Let's get back to this psycho woman. Just in case anybody coming in here don't know. This woman, basically, read the title. You'll know, read the description. You'll get the gist of this. This is sad. We're just watching her sentencing. She basically pleaded guilty, so let's hear what happened in the court. We're going to watch like some of it, but not all of it. All right, let's get it.
RAHM. On February the 28th, I shared it with both the state and the defense. Ms. Ferrelia, Mr. Smith, have you had a chance to review this report?
I have, Your Honor.
Yes, we have.
Any additions or corrections to this report by your party?
No, Your Honor.
No, you.
I also have received sentencing memorandums and mitigation reports from the defense by Mr. Smith and Mr. Milligan, and I also received a state sentencing memorandum by Ms. Ferreira. With that being said, is there any additions or corrections that this court needs to review?
With regards to the briefs, no, Your Honor.
Briefs, yes.
No, you are.
Ms. Candelario, are you ready to proceed to sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
That being said, this is the procedure we're going to follow. I'm going to turn to the state first, and Ms. Ferreira, you'll put on your sentencing hearing and allow you to present evidence and victim impact statements. And then when I hear from the state and all the state's representatives, I'll turn to the defense. I'll hear from you, Mr. Smith, and anyone who wishes to speak on behalf of Ms. Candelario. And then I'll hear from you, Ms. Candelario, and then I'll impose my sentence, okay? That's how we're going to operate. So with that being said, Ms. Ferreira, are you ready to proceed?
I am, Your Honor. Thank you. Good morning, Your Honor. We're here on a very tragic case. The state of Ohio has prepared a PowerPoint presentation because the state wants you, when you impose your sentence, that you look at Kristel Candelario's actions. And anybody that knows me or has been in this courthouse would know that I talk about...
Ooh, I had to pause. What did you say, Strange? So she needs a translator. I wonder if she need a translator to translate to book her trip. Great question. Great question. This piece of crap. Ooh, there's a special handbasket waiting for you. Resume.
Actions in all my cases, because as adults, we are responsible for our actions and there are consequences to our actions. So let us begin on this fateful day that Jailyn Candelario lost her life. If in fact we would have gone to trial, evidence is going to show that Kristel Candelario left the state of Ohio on 6/4/2023. She leaves because there is a receipt that's found in her car that she is in Taylor, Michigan. Unbeknownst to Ms. Candelario, her neighbors had Ring doorbell, and the Cleveland Police Department homicide unit has gone through 648 hours and videos of the Ring doorbell, which you're going to see in this presentation. With regards to Ms. Candelario, she returns to Cuyahoga County on 6/6 at 7:41 a.m. So at this particular point, we have reason to believe that this child was left alone for 2 days now, and she returns on 6/6/2023. Additional cameras show her again at 11:51 on 6/6 and on 5/24 of 6/6.
Check out these awesome LED light bars that can brighten up any dark space.
She is taking a suitcase and now leaving Cuyahoga County. We have a map and a flock camera which shows her on, I believe it's Lafayette and Charter, northbound, at 6/6 at 20.05, which is 8:05 p.m., and that's a flock camera. Through the search warrants, we were able to retrieve her Spirit airline tickets that showed her departure and her return from Puerto Rico. She was gone from 6/8 to 6/11. And it's interesting, Your Honor, because in the defense memorandum, it's...
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, come on, let's work here. This look like, I'm watching with y'all, it's like my first time watching this here. Okay, let's watch this here. I believe this is the pictures of her out here on this vacation, correct? Look like she with her boo, right? Do you think this is another woman out here that's putting the Woodstick before her child? Face is covered. Just my thoughts. I could be wrong. Wow. Very interesting. Okay, what you got to say, Kat? What does Kat to say? So this woman left her child all alone without anyone checking on the baby for 10 days. Yep. Can't make this stuff up. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. And then I showed a little old news clip, Kathy, before. And she's done that before. Like, she dropped the kid off somebody, like, to say, can you watch my child for the night? End up the child being there for a month. They like, we need money, you know, to feed the child something. She didn't care. So I guess this time, forget going through all the babysitter, hearing this, hearing that. I'm just going to go. But, of course, she wants to say nobody understands what she's going through. Depression and so much on her. Let's resume. Yeah, don't it sound like it's strange? Look like after she went out there for this man, she let the Woodstick come before her child. This is why I'm reporting this one too. See? Ladies, we got to do better. We have to do better. This is ridiculous. 15-month-old. I wonder who the father is. Haven't did much reporting on it, but, you know, if the father, you know, is in the picture, well, I guess maybe not in the picture for 10 days. You didn't know nothing, and you didn't call the child in 10 days? Unless she was calling, I don't know. It didn't really have a trial. She just went guilty. But it's a lot of questions. But at least one thing we know. She's locked up. She's not coming out. That poor baby suffered. All right, I'm going to try not to talk. Let's get through this one.
Says that her abrupt stopping of medications played a significant role in her ability to function as a parent and make sound decisions. So when we look at, these are items from her phone, her actions indicate to us that she is in Puerto Rico having a good time with friends, and that there is not a care in the world about the 16-month-old that was left alone in the pack and play. These pictures show somebody who is showing some discretion and judgment because she's having a good time. Meanwhile, this child is in a pack and play. She returns to Detroit, and while she is in Puerto Rico, the detectives were able to locate on the Ring doorbell that on 6/9/2023 at around 1:04 a.m. in the morning that you hear this child crying.
Look at defense face right there. His face is turning red. He can't take it, hearing the baby like that. He's like he's sitting next to a monster, but he has to defend it. Well, at least he didn't really have to do much defending because due to the fact all he had to do was work a plea bar because she went guilty. But look at him. He's married, probably have kids. That's the left hand, so you see he's married, have kids. He's thinking like, how could you do this? And if he knows in the beginning when she walked in the courtroom, she had a bit of a smirk. I hope my thing wasn't lagging so much. Hey, ooh, do we see Susie Q up in here? You hear the screams, right? You hear it, right? Oh my gosh. You know, when our babies was little, they cry, we just jump. Jump. She don't care. She don't care. All right, let's get back to it. I didn't watch. I'm watching this with y'all, but this is kind of hard. Listen to baby cry, but we're gonna get through this one. Look at the defense. He's hurt. He's like, he can't believe it. When he go home, have pillow talk with his wife, he's like, this monster. Resume.
So now we have Ms. Candelario's car. She's returned from Michigan, from Puerto Rico back to Michigan, where she was with one fellow, and then traveled to go see another fellow
See, I'm learning with y'all. She was a piece of work. She worshipped the Woodstick. It's all about the Woodstick. She don't care. That comes more for her. Probably a histrionic. Wow. What else, Susie? What are you saying, Susie? You said, I'm surprised the neighbors didn't hear her. That was one of the ring cam, but I guess they didn't. But in the beginning, I showed the news clip, Susie, an old one, and she had, like come up to the neighbor and say, hey, can you watch my kid for a second for a few hours? And she was gone for like almost a month. They was calling her, and she just not responding. They need money, milk, and Pampers and stuff. She don't care about that child. All she care about is twerking, showing her cellulites, and the Woodstick. She didn't care about that child. This is sad. All right, let's get back to it.
Imlay, Michigan, to be with another fellow. So that's from 6:12 to 6:15. Her car is found on all these flock cameras. Not once is she returning to Cuyahoga County. Now we turn our attention to June 16th at 7:36 a.m. She is back in Cuyahoga County. Her car reappears in front of her house.
This
She goes in and she finds her daughter dead. She takes the time to redress her, and then she calls 911.
Friday, June 16, 2023.
The article I read didn't say it, but did you hear what she said? So she's out there doing her little cellulite twerking, right? Worshipping the Woodstick. She comes home. She sees her child is unalive, and she changes all the clothes and puts something on. Now we get ready to hear the 911 call. You see, you thought you was going to get away with this? You really thought? You just going to change your clothes, wipe things down a little bit, and nobody's going to put two and two together? Mommy and Daddy laid down and had Satan's daughter, and here she goes. Satan's daughter right there. There she go. Resume.
07:47 and 26 seconds. Please release the petrol call. Do you need police, fire, EMS? Please need police, fire, EMS. What's that? We want 29, 197. 129, 129, 127. Please, I need help. Okay, I can't help you if I don't know where you're at, so tell me the address so we can help you. 31 29, 197. Okay, is there a single floor apartment? Please. What's your name? Kristel. What's your last name, Kristel? Kristel Candelario, please help me. What's the name? 7882. Tell me what's going on. What's going on? I'm giving you a few moments to calm down. Kristel. Please listen to me so I can help you. She's not responsive. She's white. She's white. She's white. She's white, but it's a different family. I can speak English. I understand you. Tell me who's white. Who's white? Please. Your mom? Is it your mom? I am mom, yes. I am mom. You live here? Your mother's dying? She's dying. She's dying. I'm going to go to the post office. Please, I need help. How old is she? She's almost 16 months. Please help me. Okay, I'm going to get you over to Emma. Oh, my God.
And then she's so overwrought with emotion on June 17th that she picks up and goes back to Michigan to meet up, not with the guy that she had gone to Puerto Rico with, but the other guy that she was seeing.
Like I said, I'm watching him with y'all. Oh my gosh, it's all about the Woodstick. That's all she care about. She might don't even know who the child father is. This is crazy. So your child is deceased and all of this, and then you run out here to another dude? Am I hearing this correctly? Wow. This is insane. This stuff happens though. What Kathy said, that is not no postpartum depression. That is just gotta have it. Just gotta have it. And what Kristel said? An Oscar goes to the Trifling Mother. Let me read this one. Kathy says, how many men did she have? Like I said, she gotta have it. Yeah, you hear this? I didn't know all of this. I'm learning this with y'all. This is crazy. She just running out. I mean, there's nothing wrong with dating, and stuff like that, because there's men out here, they'll date several women. So what? A woman could date several men if she wants to. You're just dating. But you don't put them before your children. Your kid, 15-month-old? This is insane. This is really insane. But at least she's not getting out. She didn't waste the taxpayer time saying, oh, I'm innocent and blah, 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 blah. She wants to pull that. She's mentally insane. Like that crazy woman over there in Texas that strangled, 4 or 5 of her kids, one by one, and drowned them in the bathtub. And everybody wants to blame the husband. Why you kept impregnating her? Excuse me? They're married. It takes 2. He didn't tell her to do what she did to the kids. He was going to work every day, providing and protecting for the family. She had the luxury to stay home with the kids all day. You should be thankful to have a good husband like that. Ain't got too many men out here could be able to do that. All right, let me stop talking. Oh, Susie said something. What did you say? You can still hear the Woodstick and take care of your baby. She just didn't give a d. Yeah, that's it. That's all. You remember that story, right, Susie? The same thing. There's nothing wrong. Men do it all the time. I'm not talking about sleep around, but if you want to date a few, you got to get to know and stuff. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. But she's out here just Woodstick to a Woodstick and a Woodstick. Watch my kid, I got to go get a Woodstick. Watch my kid, I got to get a Woodstick. Didn't care. And she probably had different Woodsticks up in her body while she was pregnant. That's disgusting. You know how many spirits you putting up in your body like that? Let me stop. Let's get back to it. Resume. Prosecution, you're doing a phenomenal job. Phenomenal.
And in her house during a search warrant, there was found this notebook that had written harm from neglect. This is the location where Jailyn was housed for 10 days without anybody being present, any adult, in a 3x2 pack and play with maybe a bottle or two of milk and maybe some crackers. And the mattress that was found was urine laden and feces strewn throughout the pack and play.
Oh my God, thank God I found you. If you're a single...
Now, this is where it begins, Your Honor. I come from an Italian Catholic family, and both my parents were immigrants and they spoke broken English. And we have this good interpreter that has been with us during this whole case. This is the very first interview, the crying of the 911, and this is the first interview that she has with a detective from homicide. Again, pay attention to her actions and how she speaks to this detective.
But in the last week, she get vomiting too. Remember, right now, when you mentioned the vomiting. She get vomiting.
Wait a minute. She haven't interpreted. She talks well? What is she? See? A darn sociopath. Or a malignant, I'm going to say malignant narcissist, one or the other. All right, back to it. Oh. Hold a second, I'm sorry.
The last week, Monday and Tuesday, 2 times. But I was trying to control it because I know I give to her Tylenol or something, you know, for controlling the vomiting.
Okay. Come on, sir. This is my supervisor, Sergeant
I'm
Gomez.
Reality too. I give to her when she gets crying or vomit. Hola, ¿qué tal?
Soy la enfermo con la cancelación que tengo orina.
Just to take note, Your Honor.
So yeah, that's the situation, and after that, she was refusing to eat the food, and she was with no appetite. I said, oh my God.
This is after last Monday and Tuesday when she was throwing up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you talking about Monday and Tuesday like 4 days ago?
Yeah,
okay.
Last week, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because we almost done this week, so I talk about,
Because what, this week?
This week. Yeah, I talk about because we almost done, you know.
Oh, we're almost done with this week.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so that was just Monday and Tuesday of this week. She was throwing up.
Yes.
And then how was she Wednesday and Thursday?
She was with no food, just with a meal because she was refusing. Maybe it's because she get a vomiting 2 days, before. Yeah. So that's why I was scary because I say, oh my God, I need to go to the hospital because she doesn't eat anything. And she was lose tiny, her weight. I lose, her weight. But right now, this morning when I wake up, she was asleep. She sleep every day 12 hours.
Okay.
She sleep like at 9, 8 p.m. through 9 or 10 a.m. Okay. 12 hours. So in this morning I was sleeping too. I never wake up. She was
what happened? What was going on last night?
Last night she was crying a lot. And I see one moment when I was take a shower, and she was screaming like, I don't know, probably she get a pain. Okay. Maybe.
About what time was that last night?
Maybe at 7 or 8 p.m.
Okay.
So she was screaming like, probably for pain or something like that. In this morning when I wake up, I took her in the morning for
Just slurping up those, excuse me, slurping up those daiquiris over there on that trip. And I think I just see somebody just pop up in here. Lovejoy, and how you doing, girl? We got another crazy one. Did you hear about this story? Mother goes on vacation, chasing the Woodstick, and left her 15-month-old baby alone in the house. There's a special place for her down below. Special place. Let's get back to her. Oh, wait a minute. What it says? All right. Oh, let's get back to it. I'm sorry to resume.
Jailyn, wake up, and she wake up, and when I see her, I see she looks like a really, really dry, like a, ¿cómo se dice cuando una persona se chupa, o sea, se, kind of like, yeah.
Oh, like her face was sunken in?
So, yeah, Y ahí fue que yo me asusté y dije,
If you have a 700 plus credit score, you qualify for Chase's new program where you can access up to.
And then she is then brought into homicide. She's arrested and brought into homicide and has another conversation with Sergeant Gomez and Detective Powell. And she continues now to perpetuate her lies.
What time did you go to Detroit, Michigan? Monday morning? Okay. On Monday morning, what condition was Jailyn in? She was okay. She was okay? Was she awake, asleep?
No, she wasn't sleeping.
She was sleeping in the house? Sorry. You went there on Monday at what time? In the morning? Yeah. Okay. Early in the morning? But when you left out, you were sleeping in the playpen? Okay. So, you go to Michigan. What time did you arrive in Michigan?
Yo soy de Trujillo. ¿A qué hora te llegaste a Michigan? Yo como 30 minutos. 2 hours and 30 minutes.
2 hours and 30 minutes? Okay. So you get there, and you arrive there, who you meet up with?
Yo llegué a un hotel, pero yo trabajaba de Uber, así que yo me puse a trabajar directamente en Uber.
She did at a hotel and she right away started working at Uber.
Pero ya después fui a visitar a otras amistades alrededor.
She went to visit some friends.
Y
She's 32 years old, and the child was 15 months old.
David, that's the name.
David?
Yeah.
Okay. So you arrived in 2 hours later to get a hotel. What did you say?
No me recuerdo bien la ciudad que estaba ni a dónde.
Okay, come on. You got here to Detroit, Michigan, you don't know what city, you don't know what hotel, you gotta come out with something better than that.
No,
Okay.
pero el hotel donde él se estaba hospedando,
No,
Super Nate.
where you were staying, not David, where you were staying. We're not talking about David.
Super Nate, that's it.
Super 8? So you arrived 2 hours later, you said it's Super 8, you mentioned something about Uber?
Yo estaba trabajando en Uber, sí.
She was working Uber. Why would you go, hold on, why would you go work Uber in Detroit, Michigan,
Porque yo
instead of doing it here in Cleveland,
Sí, porque
where your daughter is?
yo también trabajaba aquí en Uber, aquí en Cleveland.
Okay, why go over there, not do it here? Why not do it here? Your daughter's here.
Porque me iba a ver amistades también en Michigan, entonces aproveché.
Friends over there in Michigan, so she took advantage of the fact that she was over there to visit people while she was over there.
Pero no era siempre que lo hacía.
But not always. That's not, she didn't do that always.
Can I say this the wrong way? At what point did you think that it would make sense to leave her here while you was in Detroit?
No puedo la manera mal, pero ¿en qué momento tú pensaste que está bien
por pasear, por
to travel,
por pasear,
Why not travel with you?
¿Por qué no llegaste a ir contigo?
porque yo pensaba regresar el viernes y ya quedarme con ella, o sea, era algo rápido, eventual, que no...
She said that because she had planned on returning on Friday and spending time with them, so
Porque no me iba a quedar en la casa de nadie, como...
she wasn't going to stay at anybody's house.
But why not bring her with you if you know, you already knew that she had a condition going on at the time?
Si tú sabías que ella tenía una condición, estaba enfermita,
She needed
¿por qué no llevarla contigo?
Porque por eso mismo, porque yo pasear,
Porque she
porque...
wanted to have a good time in travel. And this is the second interview that she had.
Cash in your wallet to purchase the stipend.
You took out money for the ATM machine, that's what you used.
Siempre la uso
All
para
right,
eso.
so let's just stop, we're gonna wrap up some stuff here. Okay, so you were at your house in June 16th, okay, the day we were there. You woke up at 7:20 in the morning, right?
Él me estaba diciendo acerca de que tiene todo mi seguimiento. Él me dijo hace un momento en inglés que tengo mi seguimiento de donde yo me movilicé y todo eso.
Yeah, we have you on video, your car, coming home at 7:36 in the morning. What time are we gonna see you leaving your house and when? What's the video gonna show us? When we look at this video some more.
Okay.
Cuando nosotros empezamos a ver el video, okay, ¿qué este video nos va a enseñar a nosotros? ¿A qué hora tú saliste de tu casa y cuándo? Nos está enseñando tú regresando a las 7:26 de la mañana. Pero a qué hora tú te fuiste. ¿Y qué día? Piénsalo bien, porque el video, no pasa el video, no miente.
Okay, I'm telling you to think about it really good because the video does not, what is the video going to show us? Is the video going to show us that you left your house on Friday? Because it's showing you coming back, but when is it showing you leaving? Because we're going to look at the video and it's going to show us and it's not going to lie. Think about your answer. Think about your answer. This is la oportunidad tuya para decirnos la verdad, porque nosotros vamos a ver el video. Sí, y si no nos está diciendo la verdad, lo vamos a ver. Y vamos a ver si nos está mintiendo. Sí, y me está diciendo que van a haber más problemas al respecto. Va a empezar los problemas.
So, Your Honor, with regards to Jailyn Candelario, she died a very awful death for being 16 months old. Dr. Elizabeth Mooney from the medical examiner's office is here and would like to make a statement. She was the medical examiner that did the autopsy, and the state of Ohio is going to provide you the autopsy and autopsy photographs to make this part of the sentencing record. Dr. Mooney?
For the record, we'll call this
State's Exhibit
1.
Good morning.
Hi, Doctor. For the record, can you say your name and spell it for the code reporter?
Yes, my name is Dr. Elizabeth Mooney, and it's spelled Mooney. I am currently employed by Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner's Office as a forensic pathologist and deputy medical examiner. In this capacity, I was assigned the task of performing an autopsy on little girl Jailyn Candelario in order to determine her cause and manner of death. Unfortunately, this is one of the most tragic and unfortunate cases I've had in my career thus far. So today I speak on behalf of her and her findings with the course of my examination. We received Jailyn at the medical examiner's office from the scene of her residence, at which time she was clothed in non-soiled clothing, indicating her body had likely been dressed prior to first responders' arrival, as I had mentioned before. So at autopsy, I examined the body of a very emaciated female toddler. At this point, she weighed 13 pounds. Upon review of medical records, this indicated approximately a 7-pound weight loss since her previous doctor's visit less than 2 months prior to that. The eyes were sunken, and she had temporal wasting in her face. In addition to that, the skin showed markedly decreased turgor, meaning when I pinch the skin, it remains in that tented position, indicating severe dehydration. In addition, there was abundant fecal material present, caked on the fingers, the fingernails, the hands, the feet, as well as the soles of the feet. The same material was found on her lips, which were very dry and flaking, as well as in her oral cavity, caked to her teeth. She did have some diaper rash apparent, as well as fecal material adherent to those areas. Of note, the body was essentially free of significant injury, with the exception of dried excoriations or scratches to the face region predominantly, and whether or not these were inflicted to herself in a conscious or semi-conscious state while she was dying, I'm unable to determine that. Very early decompositional changes were present. This included faint discoloration or green discoloration of the abdomen. These are typically changes that we see within 2 to 3 days following death. No additional changes to suggest that she passed away prior to this were found externally or internally. Upon internal examination, I continued to find evidence consistent with starvation and dehydration. These included pale discoloration of the musculature, which was minimal. There was a decrease in intra-abdominal fat to the point of transparency as her body tried to feed upon itself for nutrients. Her stomach contents consisted of less than 2 million.
I should have said a trigger warning. Like I said, I'm watching this with y'all. I didn't watch this. I didn't know it's going to be so, detailed, kind of graphic. If anybody needs to leave, I completely understand. It might be too much to hear this with an angel like this. I can understand. So if you need to leave, I completely understand. Thank you for being here anyway, and thank you for engaging. I'm going to resume back to it. So sad.
Milliliters of brown mucoid material. This is about equivalent to the distal part of my thumb, a very small amount. The rest of her bowel just contained patchy fecal material, but very minimal throughout. Her organs, including her liver, kidneys, and thymic gland, showed evidence of stress, specifically microscopically on exam. I found no additional evidence of significant natural disease going on or congenital abnormalities. Following my exam, I submitted body fluids for additional toxicology and chemistry testing, which further confirmed my gross findings that she had passed in a state of severe dehydration. Her kidneys had failed, and she was in a state of ketoacidosis, which leads to coma and eventually death. As such, I determined the cause of death to be just that, starvation and severe dehydration due to pediatric neglect. To come to the exact wording, of the cause of death was based on my findings, but also the medical definitions, which I'd like to reiterate here. Dehydration, and specifically starvation, is a lengthy and continuous deprivation of food as to cause suffering or death. Pediatric neglect is the failure of a caregiver to meet adequately a child's basic needs, including physical safety, protection, food, clothing, shelter, education, medical or dental care, and supervision. In other words, neglect for Jailyn's basic needs from a caregiver resulted in her death. As such, I ruled this manner to be homicide. Most homicide deaths involve acts of violence inflicted from one person onto another, but this case involves a failure to act appropriately to support another who is dependent on them, falling into a homicidal manner. In the absence of more advanced decompositional changes, I believe that the pain and suffering she endured lasted not only hours, not days, but possibly even a week. This is a pain that comes from an extreme thirst.
Did she just say that baby suffered for a week? This woman, she should have never been born. Who are your parents? I think they're gonna speak. I'm gonna play this whole thing. Forget this. If whoever wants to, hang and stay, whatever. But I'm gonna play the whole thing. I was just gonna do half of this. This is getting really interesting, especially if her family is gonna speak. You think I'm speaking for my child doing something like this? I'll be telling the judge, give the double the max. Double. Whatever you're going to give, double it, triple it. Resume.
And hunger. It also stems from an inherent terror of isolation or the lack of someone present to provide that. My knowledge on the depth of this suffering may not be as extensive as a medical or a mental health professional, but as a physician with psychiatric and pediatric training, I feel comfortable stating that the deprivation of food coupled with physical isolation and caregiver abandonment would be terrifying. We know that babies and children cry when they're hungry because it's unsettling and it's uncomfortable. That's almost immediately after birth. We also know that children as early as age 4 to 5. This feeling of abandonment for days on end, coupled with the pain of starvation and extreme thirst, is a type of suffering I don't think any of us could ever fully fathom. So as a forensic pathologist, it is said that we are the voice of the dead and given the responsibility to speak for those who can't. So this morning I'm honored to maintain that mission. Thank you.
Susie, we're not doing it. It's just not happening. I'm not supporting no crap like this.
Your Honor, just
but I could be wrong, but I think they're going to say that in court.
Tried repeatedly to contact Jailyn's extended family, and absolutely no one has called the prosecutor's office, has returned a call from the prosecutor's office, has done nothing to acknowledge that Jailyn was even part of their family. So if people come in this morning, it's going to be on the side of Kristel Candelario, because on the part of Jailyn, in addition to Dr. Mooney, who speaks for the dead through autopsy findings, Sergeant Teresa Gomez and Detective TJ Powell are going to speak to you. As you also look behind me, it is law enforcement, whether it be from Cleveland Homicide, from the FBI, from the district, from EMS. These are all the people that participated in this case, and that they are here to be the family for Jailyn Candelario, because her own family did not have the courage to call the prosecutor's office and ask what was going on with their case. They were more.
Do y'all hear this? So if I'm correct in saying, basically the father doesn't want to have nothing to do with this, because he's not there, not speaking, nobody. It was just her family. But that's all right. She got love. Look at all those people back there that love her. Let's get back to it.
Concerned with their own daughter. TJ is going to, Sergeant is going to speak first. You want?
Hey, you have an hour this week, right? Yeah. Great.
Absolutely.
Same thing, Sergeant. Just say your name and spell it for our court reporter so she can have an accurate spelling.
Teresa Gomez, Teresa Gomez. Good morning, Your Honor. Your Honor, thank you for allowing me to be the voice for Jailyn Candelario, a beautiful angel whose life was cut short for no good reason. This tragedy should have never happened. I am Sergeant Gomez from the Homicide Unit. The entire Homicide Unit, Cleveland Homicide Initiative, and our partners from the FBI are here today in honor of baby Jailyn Candelario. When we were first notified of this horrific case, we were all heartbroken. But when we started digging deeper into the investigation, it was beyond horrific. It was revealed that the defendant, Kristel Candelario, left her own child alone for hours, which led to days, which led to weeks. The 16-month-old baby was left alone in a pack and play to fend for herself for 11 days with no food, maybe milk, the clothing she had on, and the diaper she was wearing. This baby loved her mother, she needed her mother, and her mother betrayed her. Mothers usually want their children to have a long, happy life, but Candelario placed more importance on a vacation in Puerto Rico with her boyfriend than the health, safety, and well-being of her own daughter. She chose to satisfy her own needs.
I'm gonna have to change the title to this. She said for the boyfriend. Didn't she just say that? Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's rewind a little bit. I'm gonna have to change the title for this one. I'm gonna go back to the original title I was gonna put up here. For Your Man, Woman Chasing the Woodstick. Resume.
And the diaper she was wearing. This baby loved her mother, she needed her mother, and her mother betrayed her. Mothers usually want their children to have a long, happy life, but Candelario placed more importance on a vacation in Puerto Rico with her boyfriend than the health, safety, and well-being of her own daughter. She chose to satisfy her own needs and desires over that of her own child. Jailyn's life ended because of her selfishness and disregard for Jailyn's precious life. Candelario violated Jailyn yet again when she placed her little body in a clean outfit in order to orchestrate this facade that she was trying to portray for the investigators, either before or after she called 911. But Jailyn told us something different when we saw her eyes sunken and wide open. We later learned that sunken eyes is a result of severe dehydration. To the naked eye, it appears she had dirt in her mouth and fingernails. It wasn't until the next day that detectives learned that the dirt in fact was feces. Detectives also began to gain clarity as to what really happened to Jailyn. Candelario's fabricated story, which she initially told detectives, began to unravel. There's no way things could have happened the way the defendant said they did, which left us with many unanswered questions. Detectives gained knowledge of the fact that Candelario left Jailyn by herself for more than 10 days. Many hours of video surveillance revealed all of the comings and goings of Candelario from June 5th through June 16th of 2023, when she discovered her daughter deceased. Investigators watched a total of 628 surveillance videos, which also included audio. On June 9th, audio surveillance captured the final time Jailyn is ever heard crying. Myself and the people sitting behind me, many who are mothers and fathers, are tormented by the thought of what Jailyn endured and what her last hours on earth were like. Any of us and thousands of others would have jumped at the opportunity to take care of this beautiful little girl. Jailyn died a long and agonizing death, afraid and alone, while her mother enjoyed the beach and sunshine. This is a case that myself, all the people behind me, and everyone around the world will have branded in our minds and in our hearts forever. Jailyn took her last breath, and our only hope is that Jailyn found herself in the arms of Jesus, feeling his warm embrace and love, something she did not receive from her mother. Jailyn, you will never be forgotten. Thank you, Your Honor.
And Detective Powell.
Same thing, Detective, if you don't mind, just please say and spell your first and last name.
Yes, Detective T.J. Powell, P-O-W-E-L-L, assigned to the Cleveland Police Homicide Unit. I was the lead detective investigator on this case, and I can honestly say, Your Honor, in my 17-year career as a Cleveland police officer, this by far is the most horrific case I've ever had to investigate. Now, I've been a detective for 10 years. First and foremost, I want to thank the entire homicide unit retired Cleveland Police Department Prosecutor's Office. As you see, we're here, we're Jailyn's voice. Fortunately, there's no family on our side, but we're her family. I wrote a short poem, just something in commemoration of Jailyn's life. J is for the justice that'll be received today. A is for the angel wings she earned on that joyful day. I is for the incremental repetition, build up of suspense for an innocent bystander's death that clearly makes no sense. L is for the lack of love while alone for 11 days. Y is for a young life that was taken away. N is for new eternal life Jailyn gained on that day. No child should ever have to die this way. Jailyn's life truly mattered. Unfortunately, she died trying to survive off of her own urine and fecal matter.
Lastly, Your Honor, you're going to hear that Ms. Candelario was depressed. And no one more than I appreciate.
Here we go. Let's put the violins. She's depressed. She's going through postpartum, just like that woman in Texas, Angela, whatever that trifling woman was that killed her kids. Oh, she's depressed. What about the woman that I covered? I forgot her name. She sent her husband on a goose chase to look for food for the family so everybody could have dinner while she was plotting, and she unalived, 3 or 4 of her kids with an exercise band? And then she decided to jump out the window to unalive herself, but she didn't make it. So, she survived it. And what happened was, then she's paralyzed, I think, for the neck down or waist down. I don't know what it is, but whatever happened, she deserved. But I'm glad she's alive, and she's got to deal with this. And when that goes to court, I'm definitely going to cover that one. I forgot, what's the name of that one? I forgot the name. All right, Sue said, wow. So no family member are there to speak on the baby's behalf. Isn't this crazy? I'm watching this with you. This is my first time watching this. It just came on the film. I was like, what a... And I'm like... And then I see this, but she had plead guilty. Nobody. That's why she was so much able to get away with all of that. This woman is pure evil. Look at the defense lawyer. I feel sorry for him. He got signed with this. He ain't nothing to do. All right, Kathy says her lawyer just patted the detective on his back. I missed it. On the back before the detective sat down. Wow. I didn't see that. Wow. She's one of the most hated people in Ohio. I know she is. You're probably safer in the jailhouse than walking the streets of Ohio, Cleveland. Wow. Let's get back to it.
Mental health and mental health issues, and the programs that this court and my office have tried to implement to help folks with mental health. This is not the case here. This is not the case at all. Her actions speak louder than words. She had the wherewithal to leave Cuyahoga County and drive to Detroit, to be not with one man, but with 2, let alone leaving a child, her own flesh and blood, in a pack and play. And during the time that she has been locked up, she has been making plans for the future, talking to other folks at other jails, other prisons. She had a conversation, which I find more disturbing than not, but on November 26, 2023, instead of wrought with emotion, wrought with guilt, crying about the death of her child, she's talking with a friend about her trip to Puerto Rico and what a blast it was and how much the car cost. And they got a truck versus a car, even though it was more expensive. And they were concerned about the other woman that was on the trip because she liked to spend money. And they spent money on food. There was never mention about her daughter in her phone calls. And in fact, on January 6th of 2024, she's talking to her mother, who she repeatedly talks to. And they talked about God. God is forgiving. God is this. You also have to take responsibility for your actions. And God isn't in the courtroom. That's why we have judges, and that's why we have the law, because we have to follow the law. But this is what she says, because, she wants to make us believe that she doesn't understand the English language. She goes on to say, there are people who have gone free here, killing people. I mean, imagine. I mean, intentionally, and mine was practically an accident. I mean, because it was not like I did it intentionally. It's not like I picked up a gun or a bat or the girl bled or something like that. That's it. It was practically the same thing that happened to me a few days prior. I had the same thing happen to me days prior. And I mean that day that it happened. That same situation happened. Were you starved when you were in Puerto Rico, Ms. Candelario? Did you not have a glass of water to drink when your mouth was parched? It is really pretty pathetic.
I like this prosecution. She is ripping her. You go, girl.
That the purposes and principles of sentencing are to punish the offender and to protect the public. And, you know, in the sentencing memorandum, the defense says, well, she's not going to do it again. Well, no, she's not going to do it again because she's going to prison. But it's the fact that she did it in the beginning that sticks with us. You don't do that. She was a mother. She got a title that means something in this world. Animals take.
She said something that was so profound. She has a title that means something in the world. You are a mother. Amen to that one. Resume.
Care of their infants better. The thought of this child dying every day while she's having fun, humanity can't stomach that. And those are the actions that need to be punished. She abandoned her daughter and left her for dead. So yeah, she didn't see blood. She didn't see the aftermath of a baseball bat. But what she did see were her eyes open, looking at her saying, why did you do this to me? Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Furley. Okay, we're going to turn now to the defense. Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court, everything that I'm about to get into here today, and my client agrees with me, is no justification for her actions. And what the prosecution said, actions matter, and these actions are narcissistic, selfish, abhorrent, absolutely worst parenting imaginable.
Let's add demonic. But I can tell you upset, defense. I'm not even gonna go on you. You doing the best you can with this. But you did well, cause say you got, she pleaded guilty and just taking a plea instead of going through the courts, wasting the money in the courts. Yeah. All right, let me stop talking. Resume.
She pled to aggravated murder. She pled to child endangering. So everything we're about to tell you is mitigation. Just to kind of give you an understanding of who this person is. So she came over from Ecuador 2016 to Grandmother. She was here for a few years. Her parents came over and they lived together. She had her first daughter, Amaya, while she was married. She subsequently got divorced, was a single mom, raised Amaya. Met the father of Jailyn in Ecuador. They had a relationship that unfortunately turned violent. While she was pregnant with Jailyn, he became physical with her. She came back to Cleveland, never see him again, gave birth to Jailyn. He was never involved in Jailyn's life. She had 2 daughters on her with the help of her parents. She was struggling emotionally, physically, trying to work, support.
Do y'all see Satan's daughter back there shaking her head like, yeah, understand what I'm going through? No. She figures, well, if she didn't die in a horrific type of, well, it's horrific, but in her vision, the kind of vision that she's talking about, it's okay. I just went away. Look, you have to understand. I had to chase the Woodstick. It means a lot to me. I had to run away. The Woodstick I had in Ecuador, what's it, El Salvador, Ecuador, I don't know what she said. It didn't work out. Came home, had the baby. I have to go and find new Woodstick. So that's all she cared about. She didn't care about this baby. She did not care about this baby at all. Resume.
These children, fast forward to 2023, just overwhelming. She even tried to harm herself, took 20 Motrin, ended up in Metro. In early February of 23, after spending just a few days in her room alone, her mother went to check on her, asked her what was going on. Her whole side of her body was numb, didn't know what was going on. They took her to Hillcrest Hospital. She was admitted there, and they were doing some evaluations for her migraines. She was complaining about headaches and weakness, facial drooping, thought it was possible stroke. They put her on IV Depakote, which is an anti-seizure, also used to treat manic disorder. And at the end of the day, after evaluations, she was clean, nothing wrong with her brain. They gave her oral Depakote and Effexor, 2 antidepressants, and sent her home. She was not very clear on what those were, but she was taking them supposedly as directed. And then she returned to Hillcrest Hospital again in March. And there was...
Did you see that? Did you see her little slight little laugh with her next to I guess the interpreter? And even her lawyer kind of looked over. I'm doing the closing. I'm trying to, and you're laughing over here. I hope this judge give you the max. That's what her lawyer is thinking right now. Look at let me just rewind a little bit. Let's just go back. Just see. There you go. Let me see. There you go. All right, we're gonna start from there. All right, let's get back to it. All right, look out. Look how she's gonna giggle. Look, she's gonna do a little chuckle. Watch.
And sent her home. She was not very clear on what those were, but she was taking them supposedly as directed. And then she returned to Hillcrest Hospital again in March. And there was a note from the doctor saying that she had plenty of Effexor, but she's saying that she's out and she needs more. And she's coming back with the same problems. So they had her evaluated again, and they were saying that her anxiety and her stress was the trigger for these physical manifestations, what was happening to her, for the loss of sensation inside her body, numbness. And they prescribed her more Depakote, more Effexor, and also Atarax to help her sleep, because she wasn't sleeping. And this is in March of 2023. And, take the medications as prescribed. And then medications ran out. She wasn't feeling any better, they weren't working, she stopped. Not supposed to do that with these drugs, Your Honor. These are very serious mental health drugs. And you need to be tapered off of these medications, or there could be some side effects. Not only the side effects, but the actual underlying conditions that she may have had or been suffering from are also going unmedicated this time. And then we get into her trip. And I'm not going to that again. That's the worst thing I've ever heard. And I commend the prosecution and detectives for their work. It was unimaginable, terrible, and I feel for all you guys having to deal with that too, and her family as well. It's when the prosecution showed pictures of her on her trip. Pictures can be deceiving. Personally, for having myself suffer from depression and anxiety, you can't tell what a person's going through from a picture, what they're dealing with on the inside. And I'm thankful for the support that I had from my family, my friends, my doctors. She didn't have any of that. She was hiding it from herself, from her parents. Nobody knew what she was suffering from. Her doctors even thought it was migraines and possible strokes. And to be honest with you, when I first met her, Your Honor, after this happened in June, I met a person that was devoid of emotion. Just after hearing what had happened on the news, and then I get the call, she wants to meet with me, and I go talk to her. It was not what I expected. Just that she had no emotion. She couldn't explain anything. I had no idea what I was talking to. But I'll tell you right now, this is not the same person. This person now is compliant on her medications. She's been taking them through the prison throughout the whole time that she's been in here. Again, there's no justification for her action when she was out there, what she was doing. She could have called somebody, she could have done this, yes, but when you're in that state, when you're off medication, mismanaging your thoughts, you're not thinking clearly, her body she had to get out, and she was having fun. If she was okay, in her mind, Jailyn was okay. But of course that's not the case.
Whoa, I just read your statement, Jade. And welcome. Defense attorney must have a hard time sleeping that night. This is an example of getting paid by the devil. The first thing came to me was The Devil's Advocate. Yeah, that movie. When you said that, oh, lordy. Reason. Everybody vote.
But I will point to when she did finally get home, and we heard that 911 call, she didn't want this to happen. You could hear that. Screaming, help me, my daughter's dying. Yes, because of your actions, because of what your choices were. And you took responsibility for that, but that call, that one tiny breach from whatever was going on in her head, that reality that her daughter was dying, she was calling for help, she didn't want that. And again, Your Honor, she took responsibility. She pled an aggravated murder. She pled a child endangering. Nothing's going to bring Jailyn back. She knows that. So then, yeah, after the fact, in her state, she was telling detectives whatever. She thought she had another daughter. She had a mind she could think about. She had her parents. And then the prosecution saying that nobody's here on behalf of Jailyn. That's wrong. Her parents are here. They love that girl. They love Jailyn. Her mother loved Jailyn. She didn't deserve what happened to her. Nobody does. But they're here to talk on behalf of Jailyn as well. They loved her. So this time around, let's call her parents up to sit.
Sure. Same thing, just please identify themselves and spell their first and last name.
Psychobiotics are a new class of probiotics.
She's one of those mothers that feel, you know, I don't have no help. Nobody's here for me. He's not taking the baby. I'm stuck with the baby. You know, I have to live my life. And I got to find me another man. I got to get me another Woodstick. And I'm going on my vacation. And I'm going to go on vacation. And I'm going to have fun with the Woodstick and my friends. And I don't care. Nobody's going to stop me. That's all she thought about was herself. Well, you're going to do a lot of that in your cell. Resume.
Do we need an interpreter?
Yes, sir. Robert.
Are you okay?
Good morning.
I'm going to ask, do you have to go first then? Identify yourself.
Yo solo voy a hablar. Yo solo voy a hablar.
Okay, got it.
No, yo.
Can you please say your name?
¿Puedo indicar su nombre?
Teti Torres. ¿Mi nombre?
Teti Torres.
Okay, can you spell it for the record, Robert?
Puede de letters de K con K, K-A-T-I-Y, ¿cierto?
K-E-T-T-Y.
K-E-T-T. K-E-T-T-Y. ¿Y Torres con S o?
Con S.
Torres, T-O-R-R-E-S.
Okay, and present with her is her husband and his name?
¿Con él es su nombre, señor?
Tu nombre. Tu nombre.
Clever Candelario. ¿Cómo? Clever Candelario. Clever Candelario.
Él no escucha bien. Él no escucha bien. Tiene un problema de audición.
This gentleman has a hearing problem.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, Clever con C.
Con K. K-L-E-V-R.
K-L-E-V-E-R. ¿Y el apellido?
Candelario, con C.
Candelario. Same as that.
You good? Yeah, all right, good.
Okay, bien, señor. Gracias por hablar.
Excelentísimos jueces de la corte.
Honorable judge of the court.
Con el corazón partido en 1000 pedazos.
With my heart ripped apart in 1,000 pieces.
Pero desde el amor y sostenida por Dios.
But speaking from love and maintained by God.
Estoy aquí para decirle al mundo.
I am here to tell the world.
Que mi hija salió de un hogar.
That my daughter came from a home
donde se creó una relación de humanismo.
Where there was relations of humanism,
valores,
values,
creencias,
beliefs,
afectos,
emotions,
calidez,
warmth,
donde lo más importante era la familia.
Where the most important thing was the family.
Kristel creció y se formó.
Kristel grew up and was educated
en un ambiente sano junto a sus padres.
In a healthy environment together with her parents.
Protegida y amada.
Protected and loved.
Realizó sus estudios en nuestro país natal, Ecuador.
She studied and was educated in our native country of Ecuador.
Escogiendo la misma profesión de su abuelo y sus padres.
And she chose the same profession as her fathers and her grandfather.
La docencia.
Teaching.
Sus años de edad adulta fueron marcados
her years as an adult were were marked by
por problemas de salud física y sentimentales,
both physical and emotional problems
que no siempre terminaron de la mejor manera.
that didn't always end up in the best way.
Su salud emocional se vio afectada en más de una ocasión,
Her emotional health was affected on more than one occasion.
pero entre trabajo, responsabilidades y el día a día,
But between her work, her other responsibilities, and her day-to-day life,
en un ir y venir, no logró priorizar la importancia de un tratamiento continuo.
in the middle of all that, she never ended up prioritizing or appreciating the importance of continued treatment.
Por lo que la depresión y la ansiedad y el trastorno de neurosis de conversión fueron ganando terreno en su vida.
And because of all that, her depression, anxiety, her conversion neurosis disorder, all ended up consuming her.
Razón por la que siempre sufría desmayos y pérdida del conocimiento.
And as a result of this, she suffered fainting spells and also loss of consciousness.
Con esto no quiero victimizar ni justificar a nadie.
You sitting here defending your trifling daughter for what she did to your granddaughter. Your innocent granddaughter, only 15 months. I don't care about your daughter. We don't care what she was going through. We don't care. She was an adult. She knew better. She know how to go out there and twerk and show her cellulites. To take a trip to Puerto Rico, Detroit, wherever the heck she was going. She knows how to twerk over that Woodstick. Well then, hey. It's about the child. But you want to talk highly. Like we supposed to have sympathy for her. I can't wait to hear what the judge have to say. Resume.
In saying this, I don't want to victimize or justify anyone.
Solo mirar el yo interior de quien hoy está aquí sentada y siendo juzgada.
I only want to give a glimpse of the interior person, the ego of someone who is seated here and who is being judged.
Señores, las enfermedades de salud mental no se reflejan en el rostro.
Ladies and gentlemen, the sickness, a mental health illness is not reflected
Ni en
in someone's face,
ni en una foto.
and also not in a picture, in a photo.
Nacen y se quedan en el alma.
It arises and remains in the soul.
Solo un tratamiento a tiempo y eficaz con ayuda de terapistas y médicos ayudan a mejorarlo.
And only a timely and effective treatment by therapists and doctors can help to improve those conditions.
Mi hija no tenía calidad de vida
My daughter did not have a good quality of life
porque ella no podía pausar el trabajo.
because she couldn't stop working.
Nunca nadie imaginó que este sufrimiento terminaría en tragedia.
No one ever imagined that this suffering would culminate in a tragedy.
Y hoy aquí quiero decirle a Jailyn
And here I'm
que eres
here,
nuestro ángel, Jailyn.
I want to say here before Jailyn, our angel,
Tu recuerdo vive en nosotros.
that your memory lives within us.
Siempre te amaremos.
We will always love you.
Te acuné en mis brazos.
I held you in my arms.
Tus abuelos nunca te olvidarán.
Your grandparents will never forget you.
Perdóname, bebé,
Forgive me
por vivir la oscuridad del conocimiento
for being in the dark.
que me imposibilitó ver la luz y poder ayudar a tu
For being
madre.
in the darkness that prevented me from seeing the light to see what was going on with your mother.
Hija querida, cuánto te amo.
My beloved daughter, I love you so much.
Lamento y me arrepiento
I lament and I am
por no haber detectado lo que estabas viviendo.
for not having detected what you were going through.
No leí tu corazón.
I could not see what was in your heart.
No me percaté del caos
I didn't notice the chaos
por el que estabas atravesando.
that you were going through.
What was in her heart was the devil's heart. She was carrying the devil's heart. The devil's blood was running through her. Mommy and daddy laid down and had Satan's daughter. Sorry, you had Satan's daughter. But we don't know the whole child. You might have a big impact of why she turned out the way she is. You're probably not all that innocent as a mother. So it just doesn't add up. It just doesn't add up. But we're not going to go there. Let's resume.
Lamento ahora, hija de mi vida, causarte este dolor.
And I lament my darling daughter that I caused you this pain.
Señores de esta sala,
Your Honor.
pido misericordia.
Yeah, that's the grandmother. That's the trifling mother's mother. The man next, I don't know. We'll see in a second. I don't know if that's the husband. Is that her father, uncle? I don't know. That I don't know. Let's get back to it. Uh-oh, that's right, Jay. Purple hearts. Thank you. Let's get back to it. This is, well, and there's a lot of mothers out here like this. There's a lot. She's not the only one. But Grandma, you probably not all that innocent. Why did she become the way she did? Or Daddy, somebody. But sometimes, you know, the parents don't do anything wrong. There's a lot of cases like that. It's unfortunate. You just birthed a monster. Your child is just... Wow. Resume.
I asked for mercy.
Clemencia y compasión
I asked for mercy, for clemency, and for compassion
para un ser humano
for a human being
que ha librado una dura batalla en su vida.
that has waged a very difficult battle in her life.
Y ruego no satanizarla,
And I beg that you not
ni señalarla.
I beg that you not demonize her and point the finger at her.
¿Quién en esta vida no ha pecado contra Dios?
Who in this life has not sinned against?
Hold up. You don't want to demonize her. Who sinned again? What is this you talking about? Your granddaughter was 15 months old. Did you hear what the lady said, how your granddaughter died? How she suffered? You heard the cries. We just heard the cries. You heard the 911. You heard the fact that your daughter came home, you know, running around with different wood sticks. She comes home. She immediately changed the child clothes, then calls the police, you know, with the 911 acting all frantic. You still gonna sit here and try to back up? For what? You're gonna go in a handbasket along with your daughter. Keep doing it. Go ahead. You're gonna be right there with her. Resume.
God.
Que levanten la mano quienes no lo han hecho.
Anyone who hasn't, let them raise their hand.
Pero como creemos en un Dios de amor y de bondad,
But since we believe in a God of love and of goodness.
That's what I'm trying to understand. Like I said, Susie, I'm kind of like new on this and trying to get the information. This one here, this video we watching, this with her going to court, she plead guilty and everything. I'm just watching it with y'all. Good question. Where were they? Why they couldn't babysit? Why? So you want to run out here with the wood stick? Well, whatever wood stick that you over there riding. What kind of man is he? He can't give you the money so you go get a babysitter, watch a kid while you can go disappear for 10 days? Couldn't just tell him, say, well, I need a babysitter. And how does anybody feel comfortable disappearing that long from a 50-month-old child? And you know the father's not in the picture, it's just you. Because she didn't care. That's why she didn't care. Resume.
en un Dios de perdón.
And a God of forgiveness.
Él está aquí con nosotros.
He is here with us.
Hija, te amo.
My daughter, I
Aquí
love
estaré siempre para ti.
you. We're here always for you.
Te voy a esperar toda la vida.
I'm going to wait the rest of my life for you.
Do you know what happens inside your body when you eat fast food?
Sí. Thank you. Un momento.
Señores excelentísimos jueces de la Corte,
Honorable judges of the court.
estoy aquí consternado por todo lo sucedido,
I am shocked by everything that happened,
dándole apoyo moral y espiritual a nuestra hija.
and I am giving moral and spiritual support
Señores
to our
jueces,
daughter Kristel.
pido compasión, comprensión, empatía, misericordia para un ser humano que ha tenido una etapa de su vida cargada de mucho estrés y preocupaciones. Las enfermedades mentales.
Gentlemen judges, I ask for compassion, understanding, empathy, and mercy for someone who is going through a stage of stress and mental and emotional illness and worries.
Las enfermedades mentales y emocionales no avisan.
Mental and emotional illness does not give warning.
Cada persona es un mundo
Each person is a world unto herself.
y el mundo interior de mi hija
And the inner world of my
se
daughter
convulsionó.
was shaken
Sin darnos cuenta,
without our having realized it.
la depresión, la ansiedad,
Depression,
la envolvieron hasta hacerle perder el juicio y la razón.
depression and anxiety consumed her to the point of depriving her of good judgment and reason.
Yup, BG, we got some more enablers, right?
Que también tiene un motivo para seguir adelante.
Here's my daughter Kristel, who also has a motive to go forward with your help.
Con la ayuda de ustedes y esa razón,
With your help, and with this motive,
se llama Amaya,
her name is Amaya.
que tiene 7 años
She is 7 years old.
y espera ver a su madre
She hopes
y abrazarla
and she hopes to see her mother and hug her very soon.
muy pronto.
Very soon.
Ruego a ustedes, imploro, perdón, suplico, comprensión.
I beg for your help, forgiveness, and understanding.
Hija querida, recuerda siempre
My beloved daughter, always remember
que nunca te olvidaremos.
that we will never forget Jailyn,
mi amada nietecita,
my beloved granddaughter,
que tuve en mis brazos,
who I held in
que
my
todos los días temía que yo amanecer cogiéndola a mi nieta.
Oh, what Lovejoy said, the same way. It's kind of hard to hear the translator too, because I didn't really hear too much when the mother was talking. But it sounded better. But now it seems like all of a sudden their speaker on that end kind of went down lower. Let me see if I can. I can turn up 2 notches, and most it'll go up. All right. Hopefully this is better. All right. Resume.
Quien extraño mucho,
We miss you very much,
profundamente,
very deeply.
su imagen está grabada en mi recuerdo.
I carry her image always within my memory.
Jailyn es nuestra luz.
Jailyn is the light of our life.
Amaya es nuestra esperanza.
Amaya is our hope.
Te amo, hija,
I love you, my daughter,
hasta el final de mis días.
until the end of my days.
Y aquí estaremos esperando por ti.
And we will be here waiting for you.
Que Dios te dé fuerza, valentía, cada día de tu vida.
May God give you strength and courage
Gracias.
every day of your life.
Gracias.
Thank you.
No, Your Honor, just in quick conclusion, when you're contemplating your decision, she was obviously struggling with something she was unaware of. Doctors weren't aware of, her family was unaware of. It's not, again, not a justification for what she did. But when she finally returned home, called 911, that fear, and also what wasn't mentioned earlier in the recording.
This is awful. How could you? It's hard for me to leave my child when they was babies for a couple of hours. She didn't care. Lovejoy, she did not care.
She's still here. Do you think you belong here? In jail? Absolutely, she said. She said, I don't know, but I was thinking, I don't know if I can't put myself back into that state of mind I was in. She hates herself for it. She thinks of her daughter, and I actually will let her speak now. Thank you.
Ms. Candelario, you want to stand up and address the court?
Hold your seats, because we got someone coming up, so get ready to pull out the violins, because we know when she get ready to speak, it's going to be the poor her. She's going through depression. She have it so hard. Her childhood, blah, 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 blah. People don't understand, and all that. Yeah, okay. Really? 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 You could have got a babysitter. Or ask your Woodstick. He's a man. He take you on vacation. I don't know if he took you on vacation or whatever, but you know you have a little child. He should have been paying for the babysitter. But nah, you probably just deal with another bunch of dusty men, so you don't get that kind of treatment. Resume.
Your Honor, good morning.
Well said, Jade. I see in her face she's only scared for herself. Yep, she's only scared what's going to happen behind those bars. She doesn't care. Just like Psycho Sarah Boom. She don't care that she put him in the suitcase and died. They figure like, oh, just get over it. Keep it going. Sicko. Don't care. Look at her tears. Someone need to jump you. Resume. Wait a minute, I'm lost. Lovejoy said, let's see if she comes to see her when she's in prison. I hope it was worth it. Oh, you talking about the mother? You talking about the mother coming to see her? Oh, no, oh! You talking about the guy. The Woodstick guy. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. All right, let me stop pausing. Let's get through this. Let's hear what this piece of crap have to say. Her poor me story. We supposed to feel sorry for her. Don't forget, we're supposed to feel sorry for her because she's going through postpartum depression.
Hay mucho dolor que tengo con respecto a la pérdida de mi bebé Jailyn.
There's so much pain that I have in regards to the loss of my baby, Jailyn.
Estoy muy dolida por todo lo que pasó.
I'm extremely hurt about everything that happened.
No estoy tratando de justificar mis actos,
I am not trying to justify my actions,
pero nadie sabe cuánto yo estaba sufriendo
but nobody knew how much I was suffering
y por lo que estaba pasando.
and what I was going through.
Todos los días le pido perdón a Dios y a mi hija, Jailyn.
Every day I ask forgiveness from God and from my daughter, Jailyn.
Soy una persona creyente de Dios
I'm a person who believes in God.
y reconozco hoy que todos y todas, muchas ocasiones, somos tentados por el enemigo.
And I recognize today that all of us are sometimes subject to the enemy.
Dios y mi hija me han perdonado.
God and my daughter have forgiven me.
Quisiera pedir perdón también a mi hija Amaya
I would also like to ask Amaya, my daughter Amaya, for forgiveness.
y a mis padres.
And I'd like to ask my parents for forgiveness.
No se imaginan cuánto yo era unida a mi hija Jailyn y Amaya.
One can't imagine how close I was to my daughters, Jailyn and Amaya,
Y cuánto nos amábamos todas.
and how much we all love one another.
Extraño mucho a mis hijas.
I miss my daughters very much.
Hoy, nada puede devolverme a Maya. A Jailyn, perdón.
Now, I know that nothing can bring Jailyn back.
Y no pasa un día que no deje de pensar en ella.
And not a day goes by when I do not think of her.
Le pido a Dios que algún día pueda volverla a ver.
I pray to God that one day I will see her again.
y poder retornar junto con Amaya, que es nuestra única esperanza.
I think your daughter's up in heaven, praying, talking to God that she never sees you again. And God is going to protect her and make sure of that. Because you're not even going to heaven. So you'll never find out. You think you're going to heaven? You going to hang out with Lucifer.
El día de hoy.
And I pray also that one day I can be reunited with Amaya, who is our only hope right now.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Smith?
Other questions?
All right. Ms. Candelario, you might as well stand up. This court has to impose a sentence here today. And the first thing a judge has to do is look at the purposes and principles of sentencing. That is, the sentence must comply with these purposes and principles under our revised code 292911A. The overriding purposes is to punish the offender and protect the public from future crime by this offender and others, using the minimum sanctions that the court determines accomplishes this purpose without imposing an unnecessary burden on state or local government resources. I always have to consider the need for incapacitation, deterrence, rehabilitation, and restitution. The sentence should be commensurate with and not demeaning to the seriousness of the offender's conduct, its impact on the victims, and consistent with sentences for similar crimes by similar offenders. Ms. Candelario, I am not sentencing you today based on your race, your...
Yes.
I sat here, listened, and I'm looking in the back of this courtroom. And I think of Dr. Mooney's statements to me, Sergeant Detective Teresa Gomez, and Detective Powell. And
this not good for you, girlfriend. You got the judge in his tears. You're done. You got the judge in tears. And yep, that's right, Susie Q. No more Woodstick for her. Was it worth it? Where'd it get you? Nowhere. Because those Woodsticks you was chasing, that you put before your child, those Woodsticks is pounding in somebody else. They ain't thinking about you. You stupid idiot. You piece of crap should never been born. And I'm about to say your mama should never been born too, because we starting to see where you get it from. Both of y'all. That whole 2 generations. Okay, resume.
these 3 experienced, very talented, hardworking individuals all called this one of the most horrific cases they've ever seen. I look in the back of this courtroom and I see law enforcement, I see individuals who have worked on this case, who are here because it's also affected them and how horrific this crime is. It's stunned people across this world because it defies one of the basic human responsibilities. The bond between a mother and a child is one of the most purest and most sacred bonds between human beings. It's a relationship built on love, trust, and unwavering protection. Yet, in a shocking and betrayal of this fundamental trust, you committed the ultimate act of betrayal, leaving your baby terrified, alone, unprotected, to suffer what I heard was the most gruesome death imaginable, with no food, no water, no protection, and lying in her own feces. Ms. Candelario, you know
the responsibility of parenthood. You have a child already. You raised another child. And I've witnessed here before me your parents who've showed you love and respect and education. And they came here to help you, to advocate for you, more than what you've done for your own child.
Do you see this judge? He is trying his best to hold his composure, not to cry. And you have all these law enforcement here, everybody here to support because it affects them. Even though they cops, they've been through training, they taught that they're going to see a lot of stuff, just like doctors. You know, you're going to see a lot. You have to have a strong one. But there's sometimes when you do this kind of work, something breaks you. Even when you're a fireman, that's why I give so much respect for like firemen and police officers and stuff, because what they see and they have to go through on an everyday basis. And then something like this, a child like that, there's a special place for you. And there's no Woodsticks there for you.
The evidence that I've witnessed here before this court shows that this time you simply chose not to be here because you wanted to have fun. You decided you needed a vacation. And what followed was absolute depravity. You left your baby, Jailyn, trapped in a pack and play without food and water for 10 days. This wasn't simply an oversight. You could have saved Jailyn's life many times. You could have found someone to watch her while you were gone. You could have taken her with you while you were in Detroit or Puerto Rico.
You got a point. You could have took your daughter with you. If the guy you with, he got a problem, well, then you need to get rid of him. He knows you have a little one. If he has a problem taking, whatever, because you didn't care. Yeah, you could have took your daughter with you. You could have. She didn't care. She didn't want to. She didn't want her daughter there.
You could have called someone in Cleveland and told them that Jailyn needed help. Dr. Mooney indicated that rigor mortis was found when they found her, which means she didn't die that long before you came home. Think about that. Despite all of her suffering, that little baby persevered, waiting for someone to save her. And you could have done that with a simple phone call. Instead, I see photos of you on a beach while your child was eating her own feces in an attempt to survive. Photos mean something. And I'm well aware of mental health. But it didn't look like you were too concerned about your child. As if that wasn't bad enough, you extended your stay in Detroit without regard to Jailyn, alone, in pain, clawing her face in distress from the exhibits I just looked at, trapped in a tiny prison that you left her in. When you got home, you knew enough to start lying. You concocted story after story, trying to hide what you did. You even put pants on her, but you couldn't hide the absolute horror and filth that she spent the last days of her life in. You still didn't get it. I hear this morning that you went out and managed to go out with someone that you were with, and he was too upset to eat, but you weren't. And then I hear that you're in jail and you're telling people, I can't wait to get home. I look at remorse. I hear, except for the acceptance of responsibility, no remorse. As a court, I have to remember Jailyn, where you did not. Just as you didn't let Jailyn out of her confinement until she died, so too, you should spend the rest of your life in a cell without freedom. The only difference will be that prison will at least feed you and give you liquids that you deny her. Based on all these factors, and based on all the things I've looked at, and I'm marking this as State's Exhibit 1 for the court reporter. On count 1, aggravated murder, I'm going to sentence you to life in prison without the possibility of parole. On count 5, I'm going to sentence you to 8 years to run concurrent to count 1. I'm going to tell you, Kristel, this is probably one of the most difficult, horrific cases to listen to hear, and to see. And I can tell you that I appreciate the fact that the state of Ohio presented this matter in a professional way, and the defense has acted in a professional way. You have a right to appeal my sentence. Do you have the money or means to hire a lawyer at this time?
You notice how she switched gears from the tears and now she's angry. She's mad at that judge. Let's rewind just a pinch. I want you to see how she... No! What did she just say? We almost done. I think I got you here for another 10 more minutes, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's go back. We want to watch her expression. Look how mad she is. She's angry. You was just crying, right?
I'll appoint a lawyer to represent her on appeal. And on the endangering children, because of the Reagan-Tokes thing, it would be 8 to 12 years. That would be concurrent with the aggravated murder, which is life without parole. Is there anything else, Mr. Smith, on behalf of the defense? Nothing further. Anything on behalf of the defense?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, thank you. Court's adjourned.
Right.
Okay, we got another psycho off the street. She's gone. She's done. And this poor little angel. This poor angel. Alright, let's have a moment of silence for this angel. Wish I had a solo picture of her, because I don't want nothing around the mother. Wish I had a solo picture. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Thank you for engaging and stuff, because it's, you know, last minute with this one. Hearing about, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. All right, after the votes, the question was, do you think that the Woodstick means more to her than her baby? We got 8 votes here, and 100% said yes, and 0% said stop, Donna. Not the case. All right, let's just have a moment of silence here. Thank everybody for being here. Thank you again for engaging, and stay tuned for some more of Donna Just Being Real. Probably back on tomorrow. Tell you I got a couple of things, commentary I want to knock off this week. Get into so much crazy stuff is happening. All right, moment of silence for this little beautiful baby. Your mother might have didn't love you. Your grandmother, I don't know. I can't even say nothing. I don't know about with the father, whatever. But did you see the courthouse, Jailyn? Full of officers, detectives, FBI agents. They took time out of their life to be there to support you. Moment of silence.